I'm what they call God Gamer. Now, I know what you're saying. Autumn, how can you be a God Gamer if I've never seen you compete at like EVO on your streams barely break double digits on twitch.tv? And to that I say, stop bullying me! Those of you who are new here, I'm Autumn and I play games you've never heard of. And as of the last few months, I've gotten really into speedrunning. I found one of the newest, most prestigious categories in all of speedrunning, and I've managed to nab myself the world record. Now, you may be wondering, what is the name of that game? Yuctina 64. Yuctina 64 was developed by Kira LLC, who had previously made such hits as Lost in Vivo, Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion, and Lunacid. Kira is one of the biggest names in the indie horror space, and whenever I found out they made a game with 64 in the title, all the neurons in my ancient gray matter lit up. Like, I know that console! I clap! Yuctina 64 has 2 campaigns, each with their own style of gameplay and their own categories to hold a world record. The first campaign has you playing as Jeb, an unemployed influencer who got a job pulling local wildlife that is infected with a mysterious virus. All they ask of you is to take some pictures to prove that you did your job. The route mostly consists of you running in straight lines and efficiently hunting the wildlife so you can gather them in bunches and take as few pictures as possible, and you can get back to your truck.
Truck is my best friend.
It's a ton of fun, and I personally knew I was going to love playing this because within the first 30 seconds there was a trans flag on Jeb's mailbox, and if you can believe it, I fuck heavy with that. The second campaign has you playing as Jeb's brother Jeeb, who's an entrepreneur. Jeeb has decided that he wants to open up a barbecue business, and if you can believe it, there's a bunch of meat just waiting to be hunted right outside his trailer. This campaign is very similar to his brother Jeb's campaign, and will have you going to new and familiar locations, but the goal's just a little bit different. Instead of taking pictures, you harvest the meat straight from the bone for the tray to grill up and cook during the between-level cutscene. Fun fact, if you run into the bones after you harvest the meat, it sounds exactly like a Nokia ringtone. That's not important to the speedrun, I just thought you should know. My original world record was pretty easy to get. No one else was running the category at the time, and I thought I could do it pretty quickly, and then I could make a funny little YouTube video about it, get some views, and maybe drive up some interest in a really fun indie game. But as I was making it, some dork stole my world record! That dork's name is Sir Reuven, a pretty experienced speedrunner who has ran some of my favorite games like Paper Mario 64 and Kirby 64. However, I could not let it stand. Sir Reuven had beaten my record by 6 seconds and taking the world record for the Jeeb category, which admittedly I did not have a record in at the time, but my brain was activating. All the competitive neurons were pulsing off, and I moved my scheduled stream of Quest 64 over a day so that I could spend the entire day grinding out Yuctina 64. And grind I did. We spent around 5 hours on stream making sure that not only would we take the world record back, but no other runner would ever take it back from me. Run after run, attempt after attempt, we brought the time down. It started off slow as a 14-minute run, and then we were a few seconds off of taking the world record, and then I beat it with a 13:12. Then, to assure my victory in this category, I got what I believe to be the perfect run. Let's fucking go! Told you a sub 13 was possible. Almost perfect lines, almost perfect aim. There's no shot that anyone can take that record back unless a major glitch is found. I took back my glory as the world record holder of a game that no one knows. An invisible crown and the queen of video gaming, but I still wasn't done. I had to get the Jeeb record. After a couple hours of experimentation on routes and finding a really funny glitch that saves like a whole 2 seconds, I destroyed Sir Reuben's run of 1309 with a 1251, bringing the records in both categories to under 13 minutes for the first time. And that's the story of how I took back my world records as a god gamer in both categories that you've never heard of. But wait! I still wasn't done. I brought the hammer down. I smashed the records, brought them to an almost low that no one can compete against. Well, in a regular run, that is. Because the any percent category says something a bit funny. You see, for the runs to be valid, you have to complete the levels in order. The video and audio needs to be clear so you can't splice any runs, and all glitches are allowed, but you can't use third-party programs or macros. And you must play it on the easy difficulty. All things which, of course, I did, but I couldn't help but notice there's a lack of a certain rule. There's no rule that states you can't use the built-in cheat codes in the game. You see, after you complete certain objectives, beating the game on various difficulties, collecting certain kinds of meat, etc., you unlock a cheats menu that has stuff like a big head mode and replace all of the enemies with a guy named Pate. And most importantly, caffeine mode. The caffeine cheat speeds you up to a huge degree, and it cuts the time walking back and forth practically in half. When most of the run is taken up by walking back and forth, it ends up being a massive time save. So we go back in. We go back to the Jeb campaign, blowing past the trans right flag on the mailbox, destroying the levels one by one. They fall like dominoes. All the practice we put in, finding the perfect route, going at double speed, the game becomes unruly, and yet we persisted, pushing past the frozen plains, heading to the forest, and destroying the final boss in 8 minutes and 42 seconds. Once again, a nearly perfect run. Milliseconds might be able to be taken off without a major skip. I predict this is where the Jeb world record will remain for quite some time. We did the same thing with the Jeep campaign. We hit every goal, we hit every skip, we blew through every level, and we came in with a new world record at 7 minutes and 36 seconds. It's like I said, I'm a god gamer, specializing in games you've never heard of. If you take one of my world records, you better watch out, because I have infinite time and I'm motivated entirely by spite. If you want to see me do more speedruns in the future, I'm currently learning how to do the routes for the 16 and 70 star in Super Mario 64. And I'm thinking about picking up Minecraft speedrunning because, you know, if Ludwig can do it, of course I can. Feel free to stop by my stream, twitch.tv/weirdautumns, drop a sub if you want to, and if you never see each other again, you know, it was nice knowing you. Until next time, Weird Ice Leads in chat. Bye-bye!